maybe the system is working after all. In a democracy, being equivocal about democracy, it turns out that it carries a hefty price. In Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, and all over the country, candidates who went along with the claim that the 2020 election had been stolen from Trump were all rejected. Voters were prepared to listen to Liz Cheney when she endorsed such Democrats as Elisa Slotkin and Abigail Spanberger. Everyone pointed out that the midterm elections were bad for Donald Trump, and the Republicans he had backed underperformed. He spent the final days of the campaign sneering in that petulant, willing tone that his sycophants mystifyingly applauded at Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis. DeSantis went on to win Florida by a whopping 20 points, which he should have lost. But does this herald the end of Donald Trump or of Trumpery? I used to think that losing would be the one thing that would snap Trumpsters out of it, but nope. They didn't mind his lies about the inauguration crowd or releasing his tax returns. They didn't mind his mocking of fallen American servicemen. They didn't mind his neediness or narcissism, and they didn't seem to mind when the wall wasn't getting built. But surely, I reasoned that they would mind losing. I know many Republicans who strenuously opposed Trump during the primaries, but who made their peace with him on on transactional grounds. They were happy when Hillary Clinton unexpectedly lost in 2016, and they projected their elation onto the winner. If he could keep delivering, they would overlook his character flaws. Now, I understand that reasoning, though I don't go in for it. But here's the odd thing: it was never even true on its own terms. So if you compare Trump's performance against senatorial and gubernatorial candidates in both 2016 and 2020, he was a net drag on the ticket. Now, if, as this column suggested more than once, the GOP had removed Trump and replaced him with the patriotic and high-minded Mike Pence, even though there's nothing patriotic about Mike Pence, it would almost certainly have won it certainly would have almost won the White House and both chambers in 2020. Now, backing a winner purely because he is a winner, and that I get, but even if it makes me uncomfortable, but backing a fucking loser and carrying on with the whole maggot obsession after 2020, that's just fucking downright pathetic. There's no Nixonians after 1974 and no Carterites after 1980. When people see a strong horse and a weak horse by nature, they will take the strong horse. This is what Osama bin Laden, the guy that was behind the 9/11 text, had said. The Trump queen is looking pretty spavined right now, but will his sycophants see it, or will they tell themselves that these latest results too were rigged? After all, if the supposed fraudsters were clever enough to knock out Trump in 2020, while still letting the Republicans win in several simultaneous down ballot races, who knows what fiendishness that they are capable of pulling off. Still, I can't help feeling as if the enchantment is wearing off. The strong Warhouse is now DeSantis, whose results speak for themselves. I have my criticism of the Florida governor. He has shifted as Trump has moved the dial. As fiercely as I opposed the vaccine mandates, I disapproved when the Florida governor said that business owners should not be allowed to have whatever regimen they wanted on their own property. And there was a time, before these ghastly culture wars, when Republicans would have respected the principles of freedom and ownership, but not anymore. Now still DeSantis deserves immense credit for holding out against the lockdown hysteria and sparing Florida the disastrously costly and repressive restrictions, that were nowhere else imposed. He looks and feels recognizably Republican, a former serviceman who thinks in terms of individuals rather than collectives. And then he takes his oath of office seriously, and who acknowledges that the Republic is bigger than he is. My guess, looking in from the outside, is that he is now the man to beat, the younger steed, pulling ahead of the two-minded old nags. Maybe he will cross the finish line, or maybe he will stumble. But either fucking way, the public seems at last to be rejecting the idea that democracy is contingent and that elections should count only when they happen to go your way. If voters don't police the system, no one else will do it for them. We do not have a king. We have our own governors, said the Texan jurist Hatton Sumners when FDR pushed his powers to the limit. If we, the people, fail, the representative government will also fail us. Now, deep down, I think the public knows this. Even some of those who have been going along with the big steel farrago are starting to sense uneasily that the institutions of a free republic are easier to tear down than to restore. Now, whisper it, but America, the frank, bold, optimistic America that the rest of us love, is coming back. So it's possible that the Trump delusion is starting to wear off, but I don't see it. I still see a lot of inbred sycophants still supporting him, and I don't see that, and I don't see it changing anytime soon. He's got this sycophantic base that basically are just loyal to him, and I don't see how they can be loyal to him when Trump doesn't show any loyalty in return. But if you like the video, you can get the video like and subscribe to my channel, RBW King. You can also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when a new video comes out. And if you want to support my work even further, you can donate to my Patreon link, which you can find in the About section of YouTube. And for just a little as a few bucks a month, your donation can help go a long way, and thanks for listening.